Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. Today we are adding some embellishments to some base pages that are non-collection. So I have a 0 embellishments. So I am showing you here and walking you kind of through in case you missed my last organizational video. I kind of rearranged some of my things so that they were easily accessible to me. I could pull them onto my desk and add them to whatever layouts or whatever projects I was working on. So I'm just showing you a sampling. I have my puffies. I've shown you some of my words, some flares, some tags. Um, those are the flare that I have right now. What else do I have? Oh yes, all of this wood veneer. Um, I have, this is just a sampling of my color drawers. So this is just the pink and purples. And I have these stackable containers. These are, again, these are non-themed, non-collection kind of one-offs or different supplies that I have sorted by color. These do not include any die cuts. They don't include any flat, uh, for the most part, any flat embellishments that are made out of paper. So here I'm going ahead and I'm going to show you my base page. This is, ooh, from a part, I don't even remember the name of the paper pad, but it's a Park Lane. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I have used this so much in so many different layouts, chronicling my family. So this is just one of many. There is the other, and I think, guys, that might be one of my last. Um, no, I think I have at least one more piece of paper, but not a lot. Put it that way. Those are all of my scraps. I don't care what size they are. I'm keeping them in here for now. Until I use up all of the papers from there. So I'm going to go through some of the supplies that I have on my desk, and I'm going to start adding it to these base pages. Now, when I make the base pages, I don't always know what I'm going to be scrapping about or putting what photos I'm going to be using. So I happened to be just receiving these photos that I have printed. And so I was like, you know what? Before I put them away, let me see if I have any base pages that I might be able to pair them with. One, I like to use base pages a lot in the summer because, full disclosure, sometimes I don't like to scrap in the summer. I love it sometimes, but there's other times when I was like, man, I don't have like a full weekend to be snowed in and be indoors. I want to be outside. I want to be with my family. I want to be with my friends. And so I don't all I get a little lazy in the summer, quite honestly. And so sometimes picking up one of these, like half of the work, 3/4 of the work is done for you, and you're really just having to embellish and put your pictures down. Bam. And you feel like, wow, I accomplished so much. Uh, at least I do. I was like, woo, woo, I just finished 2 pages. And yeah, so here I'm going to go through and I am looking through my wood veneer. I have so much wood veneer. Like, this is why I started, like, when I was reorganizing my room, I was like, man, I have a lot of this stuff. I'm like, I can't even remember the last time I touched wood veneer. And the same thing for my puffies. I can't remember when the last time I touched my puffies. I'm like, I haven't used these little itty bitty words in so long. I'm like, I forgot what they even said. So half of it is just getting reacquainted. I'm like, I don't even know what's in these little partitions in the wood veneer sections, you know? So part of it is refreshing myself on what I have. And, do I have anything that works here? I recently took a bunch of classes from Scrapbook and Cards Today that delivered from spring. that, whatever. I'm still finishing. It's all right. But they had like the cutest uses for some of the tags. I was like, so tempted. I'm like, I'm using a tag. I'm using a tag. I've used so many tags in the past couple of weeks that I'm like, I'm using more tags. I love it so much. Um, Highly recommend those scrapbook and cards today's delivered classes. Guys, you get so much product. So much product. You will have so much product left over. Not gonna lie, it is a little it's a little chunk in my budget, but it is well worth it. The classes, the techniques you learn. I was like, wow, one of my last classes I took, I'm like, wow, I've never done this before. I wouldn't even have thought to do some of this. And so I walk away in many of their classes with that same thing, like, wow, I never thought of that. I never, tried that before. So um yeah, highly encourage you. There's a plug. Thank you, you're welcome. So here I'm just looking for in my pink drawer, and I've brought some more stuff to it, and I was like, yay, one. So normally the other piece of when I do this, when I'm like, oh man, I'm like, here's one page left, and I forgot I had the cut aparts I'm like, I could use it to map photos. I could use it for any number of different things. It's okay. So here I'm gonna do the exact same thing. So normally, just because I wasn't going to do a voiceover, to be honest with you. I was just going to go through and just show you. But the video got so lengthy that I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a voiceover because there's a time and space for the slower videos, right? Just fine. But I thought that for the content, at least for today, that you would see some of this because I was moving quite slow, that you wouldn't, this is sped up. This is sped up 4 times. Can you imagine how slow I was going? uh, but that's okay. That's okay. Um, but one of the things, my point was that a lot of times, if I'm working with like say for example, a paper pad like this one, the Park Lane, that I used it on two different base pages, I would have both base pages out. And as I'm going through my embellishments, um, I am pulling for both base pages. Make sense? Or if this was not base pages, but a kit, I would still use, right, I would still have multiple kits going at the same time. For the sake of the video, just because I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to voice over, I just decided to leave everything in. So you see me, this is a completely different event. Nothing to do with what the last one was about, but the collection works. The colors in the photos work. They will work to tell my story because I'm chronicling. In the past one, it was about my parents. This one is very specific to my youngest stepdaughter, um who is on her journey to becoming um in her work with animals, and I'm just so happy for her. um she uh she and I have a very special relationship. She was only, you can imagine, she was two when she came into my life and blessed me. She has blessed me in so many ways, but to see her, and I'm not gonna cry. um, she is by the time this video goes up, she will be celebrating a birthday very soon, and so she's reaching the milestone of her 21st birthday. So you can imagine being with her for the last 19 years has been a blessing. And so that's what this particular one is about. So you see the difference, right? That the different base pages, like even though you may not be very you may be intimidated by making base pages because you don't know what what it will turn out to be. um I actually I don't mind them. I can um as I like to say, I can rock a base page, absolutely. Um, and I've started, and this is, if you could see it on the screen once I lift all this up. The previous base page also had this. If you're interested, because I can't see it, it's too small on my screen. But if you're interested in knowing where these designs came from, that's what's on that little sticky note. Like it's like a yellowy mustard color. That's what's on there. It actually tells you it's probably like a page map from some month in the year. So yeah. So here I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to Frankenstein these letters, but I'll make it work. That's what you see here. So yeah. Um, but I can tell you, after making these kits, I was so very happy with how much product I was able to use from um from my kind of non-flat embellishments, because I was kind of in a rut that way. I think it's just easy for me because of the way I have those organized. So I was like, "Oh, I will just use the die cuts, or I will just use my other, embellishments that I have, and it'll be fine." And yeah, no. I was like, "No, no, no. We're gonna put everything out on my desk." And if you're not partial to that, because let me tell you, I can spend a whole bunch of time talking about organization and the fact that I don't like my desk cluttered. It clutters my brain. And so for that reason, I don't really like to have a lot of stuff on my desk. Um, and But for this, I find that if I don't pull things onto my desk, then I'm not going to use them. So one of the reasons I did this, obviously, it's very purposeful. But if you also don't like this part of the process, maybe try it with a couple of different embellishment supplies that you have a lot of, and not have as many as I do. If you're intimidated to start that way, maybe just start off with one or two and see how it goes, right? So here I'm taking another layout. This happens to be the last layout with this particular I believe it's with this is a collection one, but the collection stuff, the I would say I believe there's a sticker sheet, and there's something else. There's a sticker sheet. Oh, I know. I did a lot of fussy cutting in this one. And so but this is a collection that is geared towards wedding, and they just didn't work for anything that I currently have in my pictures. I don't have any wedding related photos, but I do have these of Tucker, who is our dog, and he loves to sit on my dad's chair, which you see him in. He loves to be in the sun. And yeah, so I'm going ahead and I'm it has all the colors. It has all the colors in the picture. So it is a perfect complement. So I'm pulling things. I have a title. I'm going to pull some wood veneer, and I've got a lot of doggy and pet type things, type embellishments here, the wood veneer particularly. So I'm going to pull all of those. And I'm checking through each one, right? The tags, I'm checking through. Um, I think I'm going to bring in maybe some doilies into this one. Um, but I'm going through all of my supplies. So I hope this encourages you, because if you have, even if you have just paper kits, if you don't have even base pages, that's okay. I hope that you flick this on and put some embellishments in them. I hope that you are doing something in your space, even if it's motivating you and you're not currently in your space, because I get that. It's a busy summer. It's a busy summer. Um, I haven't always had, the summers are hard, are just generally hard for me in general, because like I said, I don't want to always be home. And um yeah. So here come my doilies. Yeah, I remembered the doilies. The doilies coming into play at some point here. I have pulled in, I think, a tag, um, which will work really well. Now I'm going through the puffies. I could have probably pulled in a bow, but it's okay. I didn't pull in any bows for him. Even if it was like a little burlap, little, um, what do you call those? The little, oh my gosh, I'm super tired on top of it, and I can't even think of the word for those little ties. Um, his collar sometimes reminds me of, like, he's like a little man with his oof, what is the name of the tie? Words escape me. It'll come to me. So here I'm going through my color bins. So the color bins you see are changing, right? So it is highly dependent on the colors in the layouts and in the photos. So that is one of the reasons why I just scrap this way. And so sorting my embellishments by color that's just how I do it. It doesn't work for everyone. For some people, gathering everything by the type of embellishments that they are, then that's how they, their style is. And mine's just a little bit different because I do tend to default to scrap by color. All right, so here we're moving right along. This is a um, this is a fall 2023 Scrapbook and Cards Today class. So it's not assembled, and I still have plenty of things here, but I was like, there's nothing in here that is musical. And that is what this particular one is about. It's family, it's musical. So I'm going to try to see if I have any titles that might work. I was trying to figure out, like, where are all my music notes? So truth be told, I think the music notes may be in some of the flat embellishments. I can always pull those in later. It's fine. I'm more concentrated to see if I can find anything in these more dimensional embellishments for now. It doesn't mean that I won't go and pull from my chipboard, which I didn't. I'm just staring at my chipboard. I might have to pull chipboard. I might have to pull in some of the other color binders. So that's fine. And here I'm like, oh, I still have some of these die cuts left over, but nothing related to music. Um, so I think I'm going to start to look through. I'm like, I could use some, maybe some doilies. And I think I like those. I don't think I have any flare that really go with this. I thought about that butterfly. I think I have a couple of butterflies that I thought about. And I was like, there's a lot of butterflies. I'm like already on that layout. I just end up putting it to the side. Um, so this one technically is not a base page. It just happens to be an unassembled uh, page kit, if you will. Um, so here I'm looking through the puffy elements. I don't think I find anything in here except for, I don't know, did I find any? No, I don't think it's this particular layout. Nothing related to music. I don't, I will say I do not, I do not create very many musical type layouts. So it doesn't necessarily make sense for me to have embellishments set aside for just that are musically oriented. Now, if they were, then absolutely 100%, I probably would. Like, for example, my family does a lot of, particularly my girls and their significant others, as well as my husband, they do a lot of like outdoor type sports and activities. And so it just makes natural sense for me to have like an outdoor section, right? Not everybody's outdoorsy. Not everybody likes, hiking and fishing and all kinds of other activities that you do outdoors. So I just kind of have created them for categories for whenever I need them. So, oh, my girls were very much into sports. I was a softball mom for many, 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 many years. So I had a ton. I think I still have some softball stuff. Um, but yeah, such fun times in their lives. They were busy, very, very busy. um, we're always on the go, but um, you miss those times. You miss those days. I'm like, oh, I'll use all of those up. Little pink sequin hearts, perfect. So that's the nice thing about um, organizing embellishments by color is that literally if I just need a pop of whatever color I need, I could just throw it in there. And I'm just throwing all of the rest of the embellishments because eventually when I have no more, then I will dekit everything when I have no more papers from that particular collection. But as long as I do, they all kind of just stay with the collection. So I think I've at this point, this is an uber old collection that I'm working with, but it was part of, I want to say it was a paper pad, and the stickers are super flimsy. So you'll see, I'm going to lift this here. I have a title and I have those that look like I don't know, they're on like a white cardstock. The sticker sheet, like I was mentioning, is so flimsy that I had to, in order to use those embellishments, I had to back it on white cardstock, and then I could just fussy cut them. That's fine. I'm like, oh, I can use these cut aparts to back my photo. Um, and I'm just looking to see if I matched any other photos up with this particular, there's a few base pages in here, but I only have that one. And I'm sorry for the glare. I just decided to kind of do it this way because I didn't want to mess with um, the those pieces that I put on the cardstock. So I have them showing and I kind of see a sampling of the different colors. And I was like, her dress, I'm thinking that I might use this heart. This has been in my stash. for a long time. Um, and all right. So now I'm like, I found a music note for the previous one. Yay. It's a wood veneer music note. I'll take it. Great. And I'm looking for different embellishments here from the wood veneer. Um, just because I think it's going to be really hard. Like this is the photos are about a a tradition, but it's a school related tradition. Well, no, it's a school activity of a tradition. And she is, my little niece is dressed up. So, um, so it's going to be hard to, and it's not like a Halloween type dress up. Um, she is dressed up to, it's something very cultural. And so she's dressed up as, for a pageant, if you will, at her school. So there's a whole story behind it. So I knew I was going to have a hard time finding, just the right things for that. It's not musical. It's not, you know. So I kind of leaned more towards the girl, girl type. I think it's one of them says my girl, hey girl. And then I'm bringing in, hopefully, I think I'm bringing in one of these tags, the one that matches a little bit better with the green in the collection. And there's that. I was like, I think at that point I call it. Oh no, I'm gonna go through my greens and my reds here. So again, to the color bins, to the rescue. And I was like, let me try those. They're like sticker back, these little like flowers. So they've been in my stash forever and ever. So I was gonna try to use some of these frames. Did I put one in? I don't think they went, but I may have tried them. I think I end up going with that other frame. It's underneath there. And I'm only going to use like the top section of it because the bottom says something like hello. I think that one is the one I'm going to keep in because it matches the red. Uh, in my eyes, anyway, it matches the red a little bit better. All right, so let's see, where are we at here? Oh, I have these little hearts. I was like, well, did I put it in? Oh, I thought I put it in. I don't think it went with the color. But that tab did, so I'm going to leave that in. And then you just never know, right? What you might find. I'm like, oh, I'll use that. It's like a little, what do you call those? Those little wood buttons with like a little um, epoxy center. It's flipped upside down so you can't even see it. But and then that brad actually has a number on it, and it's a very significant number to the whole picture thing. So so I was like, woof. I'm like, I'm good. That is making some headway here. Um, and so you can imagine like me, on a day that I actually might want to scrap during the summer, taking one of these and feeling very accomplished for just putting it together, right? Or the other thing, I was like, you know what? Even if I don't use it in the summer, it's not like I'll never use it. I have a crop coming up in October, excuse me, that I will be probably have to make kits for if I want to be, um, even if it's only matching like photos to paper. I'm like, I'm gonna want to do that because even if they're not base pages, I'm gonna want to do that because it's just gonna make life simpler for me as I'm working on trying to put those pages together. So even if I don't use them now this summer, then I know that I have at least two other possibilities, and that doesn't even cover the, all of the scrapping that I tend to do in the fall and all of the scrapping that I do during the winter time. So, um, this is interesting. So I purchased that 6x6 paper pad. I believe it was Joann's. And somewhere else in some other, oh, I think in those embellishments, those Teresa, they're like chipboard elements. They're like little ones right there in that like wood grain package. I think I got those at like a different store. To isolated purchases, whatever. And then I ended up getting that sticker sheet in some kind of either a warehouse box or I picked it up at a crop swap table. I don't even remember. But they all kind of go together, right? Because they're like the same colors. And I learned the particular technique that you see on that base page at a class. And so I just decided to do it with this particular paper pad because it's very specific to the 6x6 paper pads and getting them used. And so um, that particular the sticker sheet and the um, papers are again, it's like more couple wedding type related embellishments. So I know I'm going to have to bring in a title. I'm going to have to bring in perhaps some other embellishments to be able to supplement the things I may not be able to find, which is like titles that are non wedding related. Um, but I think one of these ends up staying in the, or maybe I left them both in. I don't even remember. But you'll be able to see it. So pretty soon I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to show you the number of kits that we have put embellishments to. I'm going to continue this, so maybe I'm going to try to do this with some kind of frequency so I build those up, but I think this is enough to kind of give you a flavor for what it takes, right? So that maybe if I'm able to match photos to some additional layouts, add embellishments to it, and we can kind of walk through that process again in bits like this, small bits. This was, I think, this was about six different layouts. Um, so I think this is a good, if folks, I know sometimes I want a little bit of a longer video, but this is not like you're not having to spend an hour with me. This is just a little under that, but you get a little bit more of a flavor for um, the rationale. Here I'm just adding some of these kind of lighter blue hearts because I think I end up adding the pack to this particular layout. And yep, there it goes. Because this one had a lot of the colors that were in this collection, but it didn't have the blue, and the blue was in another one, so I just threw them on there, and we're gonna call it good. Um, all right. So that, did I go through this already? I can't remember. All right, so I think, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna pull anything from there because I'm like, I think I have enough words. I don't think I need more words. Um, did I pull in the color binders to this? That's what I'm doing right now. Okay. Um, this might go really fast though. I might just change. Yeah, see, I changed my mind. I'm like, no, that's the wrong color. Um, but I've already been in here, so I know I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just pull those two bits, that one. And because I've been in here, maybe one or two more things, and that's it. It's too yellow. I don't think I find any other yellow embellishments, and we end up calling it good. So here it's just our little wrap up of all of the number of kits that we've made. So I there's two in there. Remember those two Park Lane. There's one in there, so that's three. There are there's one in there, so that's four. That's one, so that's a five. And this last one that we just did together, that is one, so that brings it to six. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and until next time, bye for now.